Good morning. How the fuck you doing? Good Monday morning. Oh shit. This motherfucker's back. But you knew that, didn't you? We're putting out that consistency. We're putting out that consistency over here, man. That's the new sexy, ain't it? Consistent. How many motherfuckers got some consistency? In a good way, not that bad consistency, consistently lazy, consistently uh, eating unhealthy, consistently telling yourself all them negative thoughts, consistently judging others. Good morning. Today's a special day for me. Well, it's not a special day for me. It's a special day for my son, Prescott. Happy birthday. It's his 13th birthday, man. Y'all remember what it was to become a teenager? Shit, I got two teenagers. Aren't I a lucky guy? Two teenagers. Yeah, it's my son's 13th birthday. I can't believe how fast time flies. 13 years. We celebrate 10 years of sobriety here, 10 years of transformation. Man, that little guy's been through a lot in 13 years. Because guess what? He was around for 3 years before this motherfucker got sober. And I was rough, you guys. Rough. A lot of fucking regret, man. Right? Y'all take responsibility for them shits you used to do. Or maybe you're still doing it. Right? I've been having some talks with my son lately about my transformation, right? And about knowing that, again, 10 years ago I got sober right there, drunk motherfucker. So if I got sober 10 years ago, that means for 3 years, man, I was still that drunk motherfucker. Bad. Fuck. And I remember, man, I'd come home fucking wasted. I don't know how I would remember that because I shouldn't even have been driving. I'm like one eye Willie driving, getting home, throwing up all over the house. Yeah, we start Monday off talking about throwing up, talking about birthdays, but we talking about how, as a parent, right, I caused a lot of trauma in my family, right? I gotta own that shit. You gotta own your motherfucking shit, cause this is what the it's all on me, motherfuckers. We take total fucking ownership. Quit making them fucking excuses. Quit lying to yourself. Quit lying to all those other motherfuckers on a Monday morning. It's time to get real. We like that truth raw over here. But I had to really, we've been talking, and I think that's really the beautiful thing about my healing, my transformation, my growth, you guys, is that my kids are still at an impressionable age, right? They're past those developmental ages, right? 0 to 10 is when a lot of that shit gets impressioned in us, right? A lot of the trauma really sets in between 0 and 10 years of life. And I have to be honest with myself. I know that for both of my kids, right, I was a pretty hard dad. I'm a hard fucking man. And I know that when I was a drunk motherfucker coming home drunk, man. Can you imagine that being a little kid? Shoot, some of you guys are still acting like that. Or some of you all had parents that act like that, right? But I'd come home, man, fuck, I'd be so wasted, you guys. I can remember I was working in the beer industry, and there was always something to go to. There's always an event, especially because I was the bar rep. So anywhere that was a restaurant, a bar, a hotel, a casino, you name it, I had that account, and I was the fucking cool kid in town, professional bar crawler. So I'd have free drinks, all you can drink, all you can eat, everywhere. I think that's really where I blew up, got all fat and disgusting, man, was that indulgence, right? Just having so much fucking indulgence. I do remember though one time when I was in the beer industry, I think for like about 3 years, something like that. And I remember after about 2 years, I got super fat. That was the fattest I ever got, right? 242 and a half. Fat motherfucking Greg. Disgusting, man. Disgusting. And we did like a biggest loser challenge for the new year. And so it was like a 90-day challenge to see who could lose the most body weight percentage wise. And I remember weighing in, man, 242 and a half. I thought I was going to die in my sleep, right? I'm only in like my mid 30s, like early 30s. I'm already thinking, fuck, man, I'm going to die in my sleep, right? Because I was feeling old. I was feeling nasty. You know, I wasn't taking care of myself. I was eating fucking restaurant food, you know, 5-6 days a week, 2 meals a day type shit, drinking on top of that. That was just that was that death spiral, right? That was that death spiral coming out of Dallas, Texas. So I broke my sobriety. And it eventually led to that fucking mugshot right there. Look at that motherfucker. Look at that motherfucker. Shame, 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 dude. I wish it could have been different. But we talking about how, man, I used to come home wasted, you guys. I remember because I was the beer rep. There's a brewery here, San Fe Brewery. Man, I was good friends with the owner. We'd always be over there fucking getting all wasted all hours of the night and shit. And every time there's an event there, I was the fucking king, man. Just drinks upon drinks and food upon food. And I had an old, pretty nice vintage Bronco back in the day. And man, I can just remember I used to drive that sucker all over town, but I would be so fucking wasted. I mean, guys, just swerving. I should have like 10 DWIs or I should be in the fucking prison right now for killing somebody, some innocent fucking people, man. That's how irresponsible this shit made me. But I can remember coming home. I remember flashes of coming home and just being staggering drunk, man. My ex-wife freaking out on me, and just imagine being like kids, right? Little kids, seeing their dad just like inebriated, man. Like, what the fuck? And just like so drunk that I'm sick, you know, puking all over the place, man. Not even a regard. Blah, blah, just fucking vomiting. Yeah, we talking about that on Monday. Hey, boy, when's the last time you threw up from being so fucking drunk sick, man? Ugh, ugh. And some of y'all still go back to that shit. I know. I've been there. I'm glad I ain't there no more. We talking about 10 years of fucking sobriety. 10 years of life transformation. If I could do it, you could do it, motherfucker. You can do it. But I had these conversations this week. This weekend, I've been really making an intention, right, to spend some time with my son, just to have a few little conversations with him. Because I think it's really, I feel very fortunate, you guys, that I know I've caused both of my children trauma, right? I know that as a teacher, I saw kids with trauma. And when I replay, you know, who I used to be and how I used to behave, I can't get around that. I can't fake the funk. I can't act like that shit didn't happen. It did. And, you know, just trying to reconnect with them. And I'm grateful, very grateful, you guys, very grateful that I get to still be a part of being a role model and trying to create that safe space, right? Now that I'm a safe parent, a safe man, safe father, you know, to really allow for them to process through those feelings. And, you know, I remember I had to kind of look at my son this weekend, you guys, and be like, hey, dude, if I've ever said anything that hurt you, right, that made you feel bad, right, that made you, you know, made you think bad of yourself, right, as a father, me speaking something into you that hurt you, I just want you to know it's a lie, man. It was all a lie. Like, don't believe that shit. And, you know, I hope that starts to open up an opportunity for me to continue to just work with my son, 13 years old today, to bring about the right kind of healing, man, to see them heal now in their teenage years and be like me, man, be like you. We fucking, I'm already in my 40s, some of y'all in your 50s, some of y'all in your 60s, and you still ain't processed your childhood trauma. But at least I'm grateful that I get an opportunity to try and right some of my wrongs, like to be there, to coach and guide and mentor and father and, you know, direct my kids, right? To be able to process some of these traumas, right? And I'm grateful for that role. I'm grateful that I get to have that role. I love sharing my message with you guys, but trust me, I got two young adults here, right? They're turning into adults, teenager life, to be able to still be a part of that, to be a part of that healing process, something I never had, you guys. And, just putting this message out there, it's going to be able to make an impact in their life. I truly believe for the best, right? And I hope that this message has been impacting you, right? As we get going into the second month of February, right? We already got 1 week down, man. This is a short month too. So y'all motherfuckers need to stay after it, right? You got to stay after this shit, man. Every single fucking day. We've been talking this weekend, about a few things, but it was, really standards yesterday. That's a big conversation, man, is in fucking standards. What are your standards in this life? Right? Do you got shit standards or you got fucking diamond type standards? Right? Like, it kind of starts and ends there. You got low standards, right? You got shit standards. You're going to fucking let people walk all over you. You ain't going to assert yourself, right? You ain't going to have healthy boundaries, right? You're going to go for a lot. You're going to go for a lot less than you're worth, than you deserve. But some of y'all can get really arrogant about your fucking standards. And if you really examine yourself, you really look in the mirror, right? Not only physically, emotionally, spiritually, right? Nutritionally, all of these things for healthy wellness, you aren't hitting on hardly any of these things. And yet you got these crazy ass fucking standards, right? So you just crushing people all around you and they see it. They look at you, they're like, damn, you got fucking high standards, right? And this, again, that's someone else's opinion, but I think most people will understand, right? If most people can see when their standards do not align with what they bring to the table, their personal value, right? And so this whole program is about rebuilding yourself, right? Rebuilding, total fucking transformation is all about reimagining, rediscovering who the fuck you are. But it takes a lot of fucking grit, it takes a lot of healing, you guys, to go back into those little time machines, have these mental movies play out in our mindfulness, in our meditation, in our prayer time, whatever it is you're doing. You gotta reconcile and account for the bad shit you've done. And so many of us live in denial, right? So many of us, we still see our life through the eyes of, the victimhood, the shit that's happened to us. And then somehow we feel that we don't have to be accountable, or we're blinded to when we're doing bad shit to other people. And so as we start this new week, right, I want to talk about, is self-care selfish? Because a lot of motherfuckers are going to freak out on you. You're going to have a lot of people, you guys, freaking out on you when you actually start putting in the work and start changing up some things, right? When you actually start holding yourself to what? A new standard, right? You start putting yourself first. Can you imagine that? You're going to have people that totally reject you. And it's a sad thing, right? Because we don't want to be rejected. We don't want to feel abandoned. And so many times we find ourselves in what? Toxic relationships, codependency type situations, right? Where we can't even just be our own selves, right? You can't fully meet your needs, right? Or have your needs met. Let's just put it like that, right? You're in a relationship where your needs are not being met because you're so preoccupied meeting someone else's needs, taking care of somebody else, right? And you think that that's the sacrificial thing. It's this honorable thing. And in many ways, yeah, it is. But really, is that true self-care? Are you neglecting yourself in order to take care of someone else? That should never be the case. I am sorry. You should never, again, I'm going to say it one more time, you guys. You should never, right, neglect yourself in order to take care of someone else. You just can't do it. That doesn't make no fucking sense. Who does that make sense to? Some sacrificial shit where you're going to neglect your own needs. Neglect your own desires, right? The things that make you feel alive in order to what? Take care of somebody else? That's not what it's about. I'm sorry. You're not going to change my mind. There is a point in life, and we got it on here where we make a difference, but look at everything that's got to come before we can go out there and make a difference in this world, right? Now, there is a time, and I've talked about it a lot, where when I've been depressed, when I've been in my pity parties, yes, one of the ways to get out of that is to go and serve others, go volunteer, right? And I say volunteer because that really puts you out of your comfort zone, right? Because usually when we go and try and help someone we know, there's always a string attached. And if y'all motherfuckers get honest with yourself, you know it. Very, very few motherfucking people are capable of truly serving someone that they know, someone they have a relationship, a friendship with, whatever it is, doing something for somebody else and not expecting anything in return. Very few of us, right, would do something and then literally not have to post it on social media, not have to get any praise, have no recognition, not even get told thank you. Very few of us. I'm not saying nobody, but it takes someone that's really in the right state of mind, really has a healthy relationship with yourself, that you can just then start to become, just allow for flow to come through you and work through you to others. And I feel that that's kind of the space that I'm working into right now, you guys. And it's taken me a lot of years to get here. But it takes what? It takes a lot of self-care, you guys. This self-care stuff. I posted up something yesterday where I love nature. I'm always talking about getting outdoors. And I did go skiing last Sunday, not yesterday, but a week ago. And so that was outdoors. But I haven't been on like a hike in 2 weeks, you know. We've had a lot of storm activity here, but that's still not an excuse. I've been getting in my gym workouts, but I love nature. I just know that even the more and more that I do this, right, that I put myself out there, right, that means I even need nature that much more. And I kind of, the last 2 weeks went by so quick that I had to, like, I was talking to somebody and I just finally realized, oh shit, man, like, dude, you haven't made time for like getting outside, getting outdoors and going for a hike or going to some hot springs or just anything. And, so I really took some time yesterday to do some grounding, man. And I'm telling you guys, if you haven't tried it, shit sounds crazy. It sounds stupid. Like, you're like, what the fuck, man? Really? Just get barefoot and stand on some dirt is going to really help me. I am telling you guys, this shit works. There ain't a lot of shit that's instant, and you shouldn't just get on there and be like, okay, I'm done. Like, man, 5 minutes, put some positive affirmations in there and really set an intention that this shit's going to recharge you and just change your fucking energy, your vibration, your mindfulness. It does. It absolutely does, man. We have an electrical circuit running through us. The earth has its charge, and it's like we disconnect from it when we're not physically in touch with it. And so there's that great documentary, but I highly recommend, man, if you're just in that place where if you are doing these checkups with yourself throughout the day, if you feel yourself feeling low vibration, just like your energy's gone down, right? You're not feeling full, you're not feeling optimal, or you're feeling a little stressed, or you're feeling a little anxious, you're feeling a little nervous, right? You're feeling a little afraid or angry. Go do that. Go do it today, right? And just check in with yourself before and after, right? Acknowledge the emotions that are running through. And man, I'm telling you, you're going to feel a lot better. Give it a try. What do you got to lose, right? Trying something new in 22. That's the motto here. Doing something new in 22. Because at the end of the day, man, if you're a fixed mindset and you're not willing to try new things, guess what? You're going to have the continued experience. Man, I'll be honest with you. I get sick and tired. I kind of went off on a guy I know from the past yesterday, man. Right? He's younger than me, but I hate seeing motherfuckers out there just wah, 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 fucking no one's ever gonna love me. No one's ever gonna be worth it to me except for my family, like some little fucking bitch voice, And I kind of lit the dude up publicly, like, come on, man, this is some bullshit, right? And it goes for all of you. This ain't just men. This is women too. You know, when you're lonely, and again, what are we coming up on, right? A week from today, right? Valentine's Day. And so many of us, right, get our worth, get our value from what? Other fucking people. We don't have no self-care. We don't have self-worth, right? So yet we want other people. We're going to put the pressure on other motherfuckers to validate us so that we can feel worthy. Trust me, I was there. I was there with the codependency, the trauma bond from that early age. And I can just like, now that I'm just so much more aware of my needs, my triggers, my boundaries, my values, and I have true worth, my self-worth. I know what the fuck I'm worth. And it's because I put in the work, right? But my message to this kid, and he's a man, he's a fucking grown-ass man, is, dude, if you don't feel like you're worthy of someone else's love, guess what? You need to increase your fucking value as a man. You need to increase your value as a woman. Well, how do you increase your value? You start taking care of yourself. That's how this works, you guys. Take care of yourself. It's all on me. Put you first, not in some selfish fucking way. That's the only way, you guys. There's just no other way around it. I'm sorry, right? If you want to improve your relationships, and most of us this time of the year, as with any time of the year, we want to feel loved. We want to feel lovable, right? Yes, right? We want to feel that we are loving. And most of us don't feel that we can be loving unless there's someone else there, when it's like, you go look in the mirror. The person looking back needs all the love that you can squeeze out of you. And the more love that you can generate within you, because that's where true love comes from, right? The more love you can generate inside of you, self-love, self-care, right? That increases your value. That increases your vibration. And toxic, negative people are going to they're going to leave you. And that gives you an opportunity to bring in higher quality people. But if you don't feel valuable, you don't feel worthy of greatness, of accomplishing your dreams, of being in a healthy, secure relationship, right? It all has to do with you taking care of you learning how to love you, not someone else, right? You don't need to teach other people how to love you. Because when you love yourself, guess what? The right people will come in your life. And when a wrong person comes in, you can let go. You can either just establish with them, here's my boundary, cross it, and you're done. And that's just how we operate, right? Or from a mile away that, guess what? This person, nice, but I'm not going to create an attachment to them. Because that's what we do, right? We create emotional attachments, bonds with other human beings. And it's hard to break those bonds, especially when those bonds are filled with what? Pleasure. Pleasure. It's hard to break from the pleasure. It's very addictive. Just like alcohol, just like drugs, love's a pretty addictive thing. And some of y'all just pleasure seeking in this day and age. Let's be honest. We're so hypersexualized in our day and age. Everybody. Right? Sleeping around, this whole new dating thing coming out of divorce. It's like, what the fuck's going on? And that's not my style. Never has been. I just ain't into that, man. Sleeping with one person, sleeping with every fucking other motherfucker. I'm not about that shit. I like deep connections. And I like, again, doing what? Raising my motherfucking standards. Right? I got high fucking standards. Period. Very high standards. And I hope you do too. I hope you're willing to start having some, figuring it out. But it starts with your self-care. It starts with that relationship with yourself. And for me, it starts every day, you guys. This is a new week. Journaling today, I'm starting to set intentions for my day and set intentions for my week, set intentions for the rest of the month, right? Because I got some big things going on now. This is an important piece, right? Continuing this message, continuing this consistency, because this fits into everything else, you guys. And things are just going to continue to get better and better and better. And even when they don't go great, it's how do I handle it? And I fall back on all this, man, just having that joy, taking it, going with the flow, allowing things to happen, letting go of things that don't need to be in my life, knowing my boundaries, right? But in moments like yesterday, I was willing to know that I need some self-care, was just literally going outside, putting in some affirmation and doing some grounding. And I felt great, man. It really just recharged me in an instant. But the longer I stayed there, I was really able to focus and cleanse myself. And so some of y'all, I mean, self-care is anything that really just makes you feel better about yourself, right? Some of you, it's getting your hair done or getting your nails done, right? Or getting a massage or a facial, right? Things like that. That's self-care. Those are really good self-care things. But other kinds of self-care is what? Taking time for mindfulness, some meditation, listening to affirmations, right? Getting in some exercise. That's some really good self-care, right? What about our nutrition, right? Is that taking care of ourselves? If we eating junk food, if we eating fast food, right? Honestly, guys, I can't even tell you last time I ate fast food. I have no idea. You know, I remember, probably like 7 years ago, something like that. We used to go fishing. I used to take my kids fishing, right? That was a big thing. I still got a boat. Even though I'm a vegan, I don't eat no fish. I don't eat no meat, no animal products. Feel stronger than ever, healthier than ever. But I used to take my kids and we'd always leave early, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, because sometimes we'd go a few hour drive, three hour drive away. So we'd want to be out there first thing, catching them fish right when they hit in the first thing in the morning before the sun came up. And guess where we'd always stop for them freaking sausage McMuffins, right? McDonald's. And I remember one time we were going up north to this lake and we got the McMuffins and all that bullshit, man. And my son got all sick. He got really sick it was the food, man. That's the only thing we had that day. It was the fucking food, man. And I got kind of pissed off. Like, one, I was mad at him for getting sick, but two, I was mad at fucking myself for eating that bullshit, right? Knowing how fucking unhealthy that food is. It's disgusting, you guys. It's fucking disgusting. You're putting in fucking garbage in your bodies, right? You might as well just eat, I don't know, man. Putting in that type of food, that level of processed fucking food with bullshit calories, dead energy, it ain't gonna give you what you want, man. And y'all feel like shit. I remember. So, anyways, we go. We didn't make it to the lake. He got way too fucking sick, so we had to turn the fuck around. 2 hours already into the drive, and I said, never, ever, fucking, ever again, right? Will I eat McDonald's for sure? And even if McDonald's was the only thing available, you guys, I will literally go into a fast. And the longest that I've ever fasted, where it's just either coffee and water, is a week, 7 days. And so I definitely still enjoy fasting. I probably got one coming up here soon. I could use probably a good 3-day cleanse, of just water, coffee, nothing else. Just, allowing my body, to just take it, right? Kind of elevating the spirit, right? Feeling the life force in me, feeding my life force and kind of denying the flesh, right? Denying the flesh. Because what does the flesh want? The flesh wants to have pleasure. The flesh wants to have all its needs met, right? Anytime you have that craving or that urge, you got to answer it. And a lot of times those cravings and those urges we got, it ain't the healthy shit, right? A lot of you aren't craving the gym, craving the exercise, urge to eat healthy, right? To not get those chips, to not fucking eat that fast food. Most of us aren't craving the good things in life, right? Most of us are still caught up in a lot of bad cravings, and it's because we're carrying around a lot of depression, right? We're carrying around a lot of anxiety, right? We're carrying around a lot of trauma. And at the end of the day, we don't really like to look at ourselves and say, when we look in the mirror, we don't like to think I'm a person that is suffering. I'm a human that's suffering. But almost everyone, rich, poor, young, old, black, white, you name it, right? Christian, fucking atheist, Buddhist, I don't give a fuck what you are. People are suffering. Most people are suffering some sort of psychological issues, right? Disorders. Like, we have some shit going on inside of us. And the reason why I'm getting out here so boldly, so consistently, and so committed to this message is because it's just flowing from me, you guys. It's flowing from my heart. It's flowing from a place that I can't stop doing this, right? Like, I wake up excited to get to share this message with you, to tell you guys about my story, my journey, so that, because and the thing is I knew that I would make a difference in people's lives. I don't understand why I had so much reserve to really get on here, but y'all have seen the consistency, right? And it just flows. Most of the time, man, it's like, I don't have to have, I don't need to be all scripted. I can just free flow this message because I'm coming from the heart, right? And this message is truly my story. This is my truth. And it's amazing when I have those of you that are tuning in, right? I have those of you that are sharing this message, because guess what? If this message is resonating with you, I guarantee you there's someone in your circle that needs to hear it. I run into people. I've been running into more and more people and having more and more people reaching out to me saying, oh, hey, this person needs to hear it. This person needs to hear it. I ran into a guy the other night. I took my kids out to go eat some sushi. And when I mean sushi, I mean, vegetable rolls, veggie rolls, cucumber rolls, avocado rolls. But I ran into an old employee, an ex-employee, a coworker I used to work with. And it was funny because he was with a group of people and he's like, just out of nowhere, he's like, man, I really need to hook you up with my daughter. And I'm like, oh, really? Wow, man. Okay, well, that's kind of straightforward. And he's like, yeah, man, your message is pretty awesome. I was like, oh, I thought you were trying to set me up with a date, man. What the fuck? So it was funny. Sorry. I'm always joking, you guys. I know you guys can't handle my humor. Just kidding. But again, a lot of you are like, hey, you're hearing this message and right away you start thinking of someone else that needs to hear it. And my challenge to you is, if it's resonating with you, that means you need to hear it. There's something about the message that you need to identify, right? And I ask you, get your journal, right? What can I learn from Greg's message, from the "it's all on me" message, right? When you start asking yourself questions like that, open-ended questions, like, what do I need to learn from this message, right? And if you can just kind of sit there, right, you'd be surprised at some of the things that come up, the thoughts that start to emerge. But you really have to have a sense of being present. You have to be in a place where you're not all distracted, where your kids aren't fucking running all over the house, or your partner, your spouse is asking you to do things in the middle of the day to, household chores, or talking about bills and shit. Like, you need to really, that's the whole point of starting that mindfulness in the morning, is getting up early, getting that quiet time, that time for just you and yourself. Right. And this is the best time to do it. It's in the morning. It's actually in the morning and at night, right? Before you go to bed. You shouldn't fucking doze off into your evening sleep, after 10 fucking hours of Netflix and chill. Fuck, man. Like, that's not good. You need to have these buffers to begin your day and to close your day. And they really need to be sacred time for you to spend with you, right? Just really being mindful, to be present, to be aware of your surroundings, to connect with your feelings. Are you feeling great? Are you feeling good? Are you proud of yourself? We take this shit for granted. Like, almost everybody that I try and talk, that reaches out to me, and I hope you're one of those people today. I hope you Yes, you need to reach out to me this week. I know you're scared. Yes, I know that's a really hard thing that's happened to you. I know that. And I know it's brings a lot of shame, right? I know that. You know that it brings you a lot of shame. You know you're embarrassed. You're afraid, but you still need to reach out. Do you know how powerful it would be to talk to me about that situation, to just get it out, right? In a safe place? That's really my desire for everyone listening to this message, is for you to know that I am a safe place for you to talk, right? I don't have no fucking ulterior motives, no hidden agenda, right? I ain't trying to, I don't know, do anything, right? I'm not trying to create this isn't my way of like creating relationships or intimate relationships or anything like that, right? This is my message to the world. And this is my way of really guiding people in their lives. And I think I take that shit really serious. So you have something you need to talk about. You need to get it out, right? It should start with yourself. Put it down on that dang journal, right? Writing these things out so you can start doing that self-discovery and start the process of healing, right? Time does not heal. Time numbs. Time, distances us from the event. And sometimes distance is a very good thing, right? When it came to me getting sober, right? If anybody's ever tried times of sobriety, guess what? Distance is really a good thing. The more time you can put between you and the thing that is abusive towards you, whether it's alcohol or a person or substance or whatever the fuck, time does create distance, and that's a healthy thing, but that doesn't make it a healing process. There's a difference between healing and just having distance, right? Healing has to be something that's mindful. It's conscience. You have to conscientiously bring about forth the healing you desire in your life. Like, I wish there was magic tricks that worked, because I've tried them and they feel good. Like, I've had some really, really incredible spiritual encounters, like shit I can't explain. Like, you could call it divine miracles, right? I've had some incredibly powerful, right, spiritual events in my life. And I've also felt just incredibly like spiritual, right, in different pursuits of religions or spirituality. But it didn't bring about true healing, what I call true healing, like the instant healing of, like for being forgiven, right? That's the biggest one that I can think about, is this whole concept of me just being forgiven of something by an authority greater than me. Like, I need to be forgiven for the childhood trauma I experienced that has then played out into my life in all these ways that I could never even fathom until I'm like in my 40s, sober, right? The childhood trauma, you guys, has played out throughout my life, has really been the crux of so many things. But am I blaming it? No. I have to take fucking responsibility for what? My actions, and especially the actions that cause pain, suffering, and abuse towards other fucking people. Trauma, right? Generational curses, all this stuff. I struggle with that thought of the forgiveness, because forgiveness, it doesn't cause healing. So that's the other piece for those of you that are super spiritual. Forgiveness does not bring about healing. It just gives you a sense of less burden. But even then, that doesn't bring about the healing. Healing is about acceptance. Healing is about truly processing emotions, right? Giving traumatic experiences that oftentimes we have programmed ourselves to forget because they are so bad and they are so painful that we bury them in the depths and the darkest parts of our souls. And we just hide them away. And we think that somehow distance and time heals. It doesn't. You still got to go back in there. And if you truly want to heal the stuff that you've been through, you got to go do that work, to go in there with compassion. You have to be able to see the worst situations with a disconnected from your emotional side. And how are you going to get there? You got to start caring for yourself. You got to start putting yourself first. You got to start piecing together the things that fill your cup. Because once you are in a more stable, secure environment, right? A lot of us in relationships, we want safety and security, not just like, you know, a strong person to protect us. Like that is one thing. But most of us are seeking emotional safety, emotional security, right? Because guess what? Throughout our childhood, we didn't have that. We were neglected of it. We felt terrorized by the people that are supposed to be providing us with the nurturing, loving, caring emotions. We felt terrorized. We felt afraid, scared, unsafe. And I have to look back to the beginning of this message today with my own son, my own daughter, knowing that I was an unsafe father for a lot of years, you guys. And it's no longer painful for me to sit there and dwell on that, because I've taken total ownership of it. I can now allow myself to forgive myself. See, just being forgiven by some outside authority, it just doesn't hit the same, you guys. It doesn't hit the same as to when you actually forgive yourself, when you actually accept yourself. And that doesn't mean that you're giving yourself a fucking get out of jail free card. No, acceptance means you're going to own that motherfucking shit. Completely, totally. No fucking excuses, no buts, right? Has anybody ever caught themselves or heard someone else apologize to you and they say, hey, I'm sorry, but, and you're like, wrong answer. You know, it's not authentic. You either apologize, I am sorry for XYZ. I realize how my behavior has hurt you. It is my sincere desire to get the help I need to change in ways that would stop this behavior from continuing, right? And I'm willing to be held accountable for that. And if I don't change that behavior, I am willing to face the consequences, right? That can happen if this behavior does not change, because you don't deserve to have me treat you this way. And I'm incredibly sorry, period, motherfuckers, right? Play that shit back. That's how you apologize the right way. Not, I'm sorry, but you are the one that started it. What? Stop, man. Stop. That shit ain't going nowhere. That's not ownership, right? And everybody wants to be right. I talked about the book, The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle. That dude talks a lot about how so many of us are programmed that to be wrong is literally to lead to death. And it goes to like our primal ancestors. Like if you made a wrong decision back in the fucking day, right? Dinosaurs and fucking saber-toothed tigers running around. If you got the answer wrong, like if you made the wrong decision, you're dead. And some of us still feel that way about the most fucking minute, minuscule bullshits in relationships, in our communication, that if we're wrong, right? That's why we fight so much. That's why we resist, right? Allowing someone else to have a different fucking point of view, right? How many of you motherfuckers are assholes because someone has a different point of view, as if they aren't invalid, that only you can be right? That's the crazy thing about this world, you guys. No matter what issue it is, both sides in this day and age, right, have fucking totally justifiable science-backed fucking data to prove their fucking point, right? And y'all still want to argue about bullshit. You still want to say that you're right and they're wrong. And it goes back to this primal belief that somehow if you're wrong, it's death, when it ain't. We're talking about bullshit. How many of us have sabotaged otherwise really good relationships because we had to be right? I'm one of them. I'm there. I've done that if I'm honest. And guess what? If you were fucking honest, maybe you'd fucking finally become a grown adult with some maturity and say, you know what? You're right. I put all the blame on that other person, right? But if I get honest with myself, yeah, I caused a lot of fucking shit. I brought a lot of drama. I undermined the relationship. I self-sabotaged a lot of shit, and I know I did. But I just didn't want to feel like I messed up, so I blamed them, right? Again, it's all on me. Total fucking ownership. Quit making them fucking excuses. Quit passing the buck. Quit blaming others for your situation. Because even if someone has harmed you, right, in some heinous ways, and some of y'all been through some really crazy stuff. I've been hearing about it since I put this message out, and there's no judgment. I will never judge you. I don't care what your circumstance is. I don't care what you have been through. I know I have been put here on this earth in this time, right, to help guide you through a healing process. And you ain't going to have me judge you. You ain't going to have me think of you as a lesser person than the best version of what you are possible, what your potential is, right? I come at you hard a lot. But I'll tell you one thing, man. I don't care what your beliefs are. I don't care what your orientation is. I don't give two fucks about any of that. I'm not going to judge another human being. I just don't have that in me. I don't see people like that. All I see is suffering. And I understand that there's a lot of it. And it comes in so many ways, shapes, or forms, right? There's physical abuse. There's natural fucking disasters that cause suffering. There's sexual fucking all kinds of perversions that are sexually oriented that have harmed a lot of us, men and women, right? We think about sexual abuse being like just a fucking a woman thing, but a lot of men, a lot of little boys have been through some shit too, man. And it's embarrassing. It's scary, right? We're ashamed of that stuff. We hide it. And it comes out in all kinds of weird perversions and stuff, man. And we need to start fucking figuring some shit out. And I'm here to be someone to listen to you, to help guide you. I'm not going to have all the answers. Never said that. I learn new things every single day. And most of the time I'm learning from you guys, right? Because this is a positive community that we're building here with people that are starting to re-engage in life. And guess what, man? Like, you guys bring a lot to the table. So many of you are just little hidden fucking diamonds in the rough, right? And you know there's something great inside of you. You know there is, because I know what? I knew it too. People are telling you, people are seeing these great things, and you guys need to start accepting these compliments when you know it's coming from an authentic place, someone that isn't just trying to fucking flirt with you in a way that they can get that piece of ass, right? You know that there's a lot of manipulation in that. But when someone's genuinely just giving you a compliment, right? Because they see something in you, right? You need to start acknowledging that, you guys. And so many of us, when our value is not there, when our worthiness is not there, right? The first place to look, you guys, is when someone compliments you, can you say thank you? Right? Can you do you like feel worthy of a compliment? Do you feel valuable, beautiful, handsome enough, right? Special enough that someone can see something in you, give you a compliment, and you can actually just receive it in love and be like, hey, thank you so much for saying that. Like, hearing that from you really makes me feel good. And then it doesn't have to turn into sex next week. It's like, it could just be that, just like building each other up instead of all this other bullshit. Right. But so many of us are focused on, everything's about hooking up. And it's like, that's fucking bullshit. You need to knock that shit off. Be the fucking change in this world. Start turning things away from just being pleasure seeking to being purpose filled. That's the difference. This right here is my fucking purpose. That's why I'm showing up every day. That's why there's no resistance here. Yeah, is there times that I've thought about not getting on? Couple. But at the end of the day, I'm committed. The consistency's here is because this is purpose. This is not pleasure. I'm not trying to, there's nothing that I'm trying to get in return. I'm just trying to give. I'm putting value out there. I'm giving you guys my story. And I know that it's hitting in some new ways. It's making you all fucking think in some ways that y'all haven't thought about in the past. And as I look at it coming up now in almost 50 fucking minutes, you guys, right? That's over what? 250 fucking people that have died. They've taken their last breath just in the US alone, right? Almost 250,000 people, guys, are going to die today on this planet. 250,000 people every single day. This is a game of life and death. And some of y'all keep taking this shit for granted, right? And if you want to start improving your life, you got to do what? The self-care. And realize that it isn't selfish. And realize that, unfortunately, in this fucking world, when you start taking care of yourself, when you start putting yourself first, these toxic fucking people, they're going to come after you with some bullshit. They're going to try and shame you like they always have. They're going to try and put you down like they always have. Guess what? You need to tell those motherfuckers, time to hit the road, Jack. You ain't for me no more. I'm better off without you, because if all you're going to do is shame me, insult me, put me down, threaten to abandon me, it's time to go, because it's a new me, it's a new year, and I'm going to put in the work, because I refuse to be in the exact same place mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, energetically this time next year. Is there anybody that's okay to be exactly in the same fucking place that you are today a year from now? If you are, like, you're wasting your time watching this shit, right? It's a complete waste of your time, because I'm trying to get this message out to people that truly are ready to start changing some things up, thinking about some things a little different, letting go of all your beliefs, letting go of all your negative thought, letting go of all the people that are in your life, knowing that it's a scary thing to let stuff go. But the most powerful thing, you guys, is God, the universe, right? When you let go, right, that doesn't mean you lose everything. Ooh, there's revelation. When you let go of everything, you don't lose everything. You actually gain everything that is truly meant for you. And some of us, right? Some of us that are hearing this message, right? You're going to have to lose what you have. Hear me. You have to be willing to let go and lose what you have right now in order to get what you want. You can't have both. You cannot have the things you have right now and get to the place that you're trying to get, especially if hopefully you're looking in an upward direction. You're trying to level up. You are trying to get to the next best version of yourself. For you to want to get to the next version of yourself, you got to be willing to let go of everything right now. That doesn't mean you lose everything. This is such a cute, and this shit just comes, right? It just shows up the most unexpected ways, right? The teachable fucking moment. The lesson of today is knowing that, guess what? You do not lose everything that you let go of. And that's the scary thing. Most of us, we get so fucking scared because we got to let go of some shit that we think, oh, well, no one's going to be around now, and I lose everything. You don't lose everything. You just lose the shit that you don't need in your life, the bad shit. It goes away. How refreshing would that be? Let's get a head start on some fucking spring cleaning, right? Let's start letting go of some shit. Let's start evaluating. And guess what? You got to start writing this shit down. It starts with this journaling. It starts with your self-care. It's not selfish. It's having self-interest. And if you want to have a better relationship, right? You want to find that true love. You need to what? Raise your standards, right? And the way you raise your standards, you increase your value, your marketplace value across the board. And a lot of us don't have the discipline, so we settle, right? So if you're in a position where you're settling, guess what? You're going to be like, it's going to be this. It's going to be some days hot, some days cold, and a lot of fucking sleepless nights, right? A lot of heartache and pain when you settle in, right? But you're just telling yourself, well, this is just the way it is, right? All relationships are like this. No, they don't gotta be. All toxic relationships are like that. Them healthy, secure ones, they really should. There's still disagreements, right? There are still quote unquote fights, but really the key component, you guys, is these people in that relationship can provide that safe space. They don't got to take everything fucking personal. They don't got to take everything that their partner says. You don't have to agree with everything your partner says and still be able to have the communication skills to validate them, knowing that you don't lose, right? That someone just needs to feel heard and seen, and for you to be safe and secure to allow them to let that out, right? Doesn't mean you agree with it. Doesn't mean that you're going to now believe all of the things, but you give them an ability to get vulnerable, right? Knowing that they're suffering, they're just hurting, that there's some kind of a situation going on in the present that is giving them a flashback of the past, and this is their way of handling it. And until they're able to be given that safe place with a safe person, right? That doesn't just reject them, that doesn't just avoid them, that doesn't just run away, right? Or overwhelms them with their own emotions or attacks them, right? You can just allow for there to be space and safety, emotional fucking safety for someone to just break down, right? Anybody needs some of that? I'm here for you guys, right? I know that's one of the big things I need, right? That's one of the big things that I put out there to the universe in terms of, my future life partner is I want someone that when I can't be tough, when I can't be strong, and I can't, no one's always fucking hard and always strong, right? There's days that I am hurting. There's days I'm weak. For me, it's incredibly important to find someone that can be that soft place for me to land when I'm in that position, right? Now, do I just want that person to coddle me and, just baby me? No, but I do want someone to comfort and then to pick me up and to refocus me and get me going back again, right? Because my goal is not to stay down, right? It's to accept it, to feel it. And the most empowering thing is, in order for me to have somebody be able to fill that role, guess what? I need to fill it with myself first. I need to know and prove to myself that I'm able to do this for myself. See, I can't just go and expect someone else to do that for me. And most of my life, guess what? I have. I'm expecting somebody to do something for me that I can't do for myself. And a lot of us relationships, coming out of a toxic relationship out of 2020, ending last year, you pick up on that stuff. Like, we do think that we're looking for someone to meet our needs and address all these things for us and to make us feel happy. That was one of the hardest ones, right? Is being with somebody that truly would really tear me down if they weren't feeling happy, right? That it was all on me. I was the source of happiness. How I treated them, how I reacted in situations, if it left them feeling not unhappy, that somehow it was a shitty relationship and somehow I was a bad person. And it's like, wait, no, that's not on me. Like, some of y'all have given out your happiness in forms of keys to other people, and you can't be happy unless they fucking use the key. And it's like, stop, man. You need to fucking get those keys back, because you're the key to your own happiness. You need to figure out what fills your cup. You need to figure out that you're doing self-care, right? If you need a massage, if you haven't had a massage in forever, right? And you ain't got someone that's truly caring for you, go get yourself a massage for this Valentine's Day, right? This is a great time to look at, not only just, well, what are the gifts and what are the flowers and what is the dinner going to look like and all this other stuff, this romantic shit that we want from somebody else to do, right? And those of us that don't have that person, we feel lesser than, because everyone else is posting up all their shit. But at the end of the day, guess what? Go do some shit for yourself. Give yourself some self-love. Take yourself out on a date, right? Go eat at a restaurant, that you love, and maybe someone else that's around you don't. I've been in relationships where I don't like everything they like. Go do this. Go take care of yourself, right? It feels good when you can start loving yourself, because the more love you can show yourself, right? The truth is that then that allows for those people, right, to bring you that love, right? The more you love yourself, right, the greater the chances are that very loving people, kind people, caring people are going to really show up in your life. I've been noticing that even just in my own life. A lot of caring people are starting to show up, because guess what? I'm raising my standard. I'm raising my vibration. And when I started putting this message out, half the fucking people ran for the door, right? And that other fucking half, you guys have stuck around, and I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. Keep showing up. Share this message, right? Hit me up if you need some help this week. If you go through a tough week thinking about Valentine's, thinking about single, thinking about going to that fucking ex, right? That you know is not good for you, but you just don't want to be alone. It's like going back to a fucking drug, ain't it? That pleasure, right? That going back, it'll be good for a few days, and then the pattern will kick back in. The fights, the put downs, the shame, the toxicity will all kick back in. But at least you got your hit. You got high for a minute, and now you're right back to rock bottom. Like, come on, man, that's not worth it. You need to be willing to give up what you have in order to get what you want, right? And you need to ask yourself that. I've been harping away at this, journaling, right? What's this self-talk, right? And when it comes to journaling, the 3 things I've been telling you guys for daily journaling: what do you love? What do you hate? What do you want? And why? What do you want, right? You want this fucking toxic relationship? You want that person to change? How many of you want the person to change? The other person to change? Oh shit. We continue getting real here on Monday morning. Does anybody sitting there saying, you know what I want? I want them to change. If that's how you think, I know a lot of you do. Let's be honest, this is real fucking talk here on It's All On Me. We take total fucking ownership, motherfuckers. If you motherfuckers are saying, I want them to change, right? Everything would just be perfect if they would just change. I met a lady yesterday at the hotel, and I was helping her with her TV, and she's going through a divorce. This is an older lady. She's probably in her 70s, really down, 34 years of marriage. And, we had a little connection there, because I told her, man, I just came out of 21 years of marriage and, 2 years from divorce. Well, she's right there with the suitcases packed in a hotel room trying to transition in life. And she was just wishing that she was wishing that her husband, soon to be ex-husband, would change, that he had some mental issues, and that she was saying that HIPAA, she couldn't get access to what was really going on with him, even with power of attorney. And, poor thing, she was just suffering. And I know what it's like to be there, you guys. I've been there. And I tried to just share some compassion with her, some empathy, and some hope, right? A little bit of hope, right? That's making a difference. That's showing up for somebody else, even when I least expected it, right? Kind of, just the first week in the new venture. And it's great to connect with people. It's great to be present enough, to be authentic enough, right, with myself, so that I can show up with attitude of gratitude, so that when I come across people at all various stages of the day, right, I can show some kindness. I can shine my light into their life and bring them a little bit of hope. That, guess what? It may be fucking bad, but it can get better. But it starts with what? You got to fucking take ownership. You got to take ownership of your life, you guys. Quit making them fucking excuses. Let's set some intention on this week. Let's go out there. Remember, self-care is not fucking selfish. Figure out what you need to do to take care of yourself. Quit them fucking pity parties. Quit putting out that little fucking bitch-ass message talking about wah, wah, wah. No one's ever going to love me. I'm never going to be loved by a man or a woman or da-na-na, wah, wah, wah. Knock that shit off. You need to tell a little bitch voice, shut the fuck up. Let's get to work. Improve your value. Raise your motherfucking standards. You can't just raise them mentally. You got to become the fucking standard. Because if you want to change your relationships, you got to change your relationship with yourself first. Improve your value. Improve who you are as a person, as a human fucking being. Quit being a fucking hypocrite, a walking contradiction. Start taking responsibility. Remember, results kill excuses. It's all on.